Content warning. On this podcast, we discuss sensitive issues, including, but not limited to, swearing, tasteless jokes, situations of a sexual nature, and drug use. This podcast is not intended for children. Welcome to BiblioWrecks, where we... I just listened to how many times I botched it during the Lawnmower Man episode. I botched it like 3 times in a row, and you were just like, I'm doing it! Welcome to BiblioWrecks, where we read the worst stories the world has to offer. I'm Bam Bam.
And I'm Bugs. This isn't the worst the world has to offer, but it makes me sad.
Yeah. We're talking about pirates today.
I am just in a mood to sail the 7 seas.
As you so often are.
Yes.
Every weekend, I almost can't even nail you down to do this podcast
can't even
because
find me.
Yeah, you're always on sailing ships
I'm
and
singing
getting
a
scurvy.
shanty and dancing a jig.
Yeah.
And rum. We're doing Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton.
One of our mutually favorite authors.
Yes. I grew up loving Michael Crichton. I was very sad when he passed.
Mm-hmm.
I own several of his books. I literally spent 6 months re-listening to Prey, the audiobook for Prey.
Yeah.
And listening to it to go to sleep.
That was the one where
it's like
the nanobots. Yeah.
Yes.
I never finished that one.
Oh,
but it's good.
It's good. It's really, really good. You might be thinking to yourself, how could you do a BiblioWrecks about a Michael Crichton book? And my answer is, this was not a finished manuscript, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It was found after he passed. And they were like, hey, this is close enough to a full book that we're going to publish it and make more money.
Yeah. That really sucks.
What breaks my heart the most is the parts of the book that are really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yes, this reminds me so much of everything I love. And then other parts of it are like a storyboard. Mm-hmm. There's just nothing there except this happened, this happened, this happened. And it's like, oh my God, like, I don't feel this should have been published.
Yeah. And Michael Crichton was like, he's so finely tuned with his storytelling too.
Yes.
Like Jurassic Park, he was using like the latest research and technology and stuff for Jurassic Park, and that's why it's lasted so long, I think.
Right. But also he is good at writing characters you care about. Mm-hmm. Even characters who are bad people, you still feel like empathy and interest in them.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest problems with this book, is I feel the characters are really lacking, especially our main character. I also found it interesting, the choice of how he starts the book, because it's third person, but we're from the perspective of Sir James Almont, who's the governor of Jamaica. I believe he was a real governor. Michael Crichton wanted to write a historically accurate pirate story. He goes into painful detail of the clothing and the medicine and the herbs and who owned what islands and what ships they have and which guns were currently being used and which guns were out of favor. He put so much historical research into making this a very, very solid story. And that's generally where I get really pissed at boat books, is it's like, what do you mean? Is it a boat or is it a barge? What are you doing? Shout out Eternal River.
Oh, God.
And I didn't even get to do my boat rant for that one. The year is 1665, and Sir James Almont is the governor of Jamaica. He's known as James the 10th because he takes a tenth of the privateering expeditions that return to the port. And this is fairly common in this time. Governors would have wink, wink, nudge, nudge relationships with privateers because they would tax them, send some back to the crown, keep some for themselves, and this was a way of bringing in money to these towns.
Right. Right.
They're in Port Royal. This particular morning, he has to oversee a hanging. A pirate named Leclerc was caught raiding the north shore of Jamaica, and since he was French and caught pirating on their land, they're going to hang them.
Right. Yeah. It's illegal now.
Well,
for you.
It's illegal because you're French. You can't steal from me. I can steal from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of the details are accurate. I found those parts of it very interesting. When I had gone back and was like, wait, wouldn't he be wearing a wig? I found out that no, wigs weren't used until about 5 years later.
Oh.
Like, he literally went back and very accurately found the styles, the clothing styles. Because that's also something I'm very particular about, and he had that part accurate as well.
Right.
And I was like, damn, this is even better.
Yeah.
Richards is his manservant who provides gossip and helps run the house. And the whole entire first chapter is just introducing Almont, Richards, and Almont getting dressed and taking medicine.
Yeah, not exactly what I would call riveting.
No. My own personal taste of loving accurate historical stories. Found it great. But for most people, I don't think this is a gripping start to a pirate adventure story.
Right.
Commander Scott is the head of the garrison. Almont thinks of him as a dandy and a fool. So we're just going through the town meeting people from Almont's perspective. They go to the hanging. Frenchman dies. That's just an accurate depiction of a hanging and peeing himself and everything.
Yeah, cool.
The ship Godspeed has come into port, and it carries Almont's new secretary, Mr. Hecklet, and Mr. Hecklet's wife, and 37 felon women to be wives for the colonists.
Felon women?
So these were women who were convicted of felonies in England,
Oh, okay.
and they were then shipped as their punishment, were shipped to the New World as
okay.
slaves, servants, and wives.
Yeah. I thought that was like some sort of weird title that they would have given back in the day, like how they used to call like villagers villains.
Yeah, no, it's just, that was also a form of punishment, was people being sent to the New World as servants. Almont examines the convict women to select a servant for the house, because the last one's died. Almost all of them are ugly and scarred. One of them is pretty. Her name is Anne Sharp. She's 14 or 15. And her crime was stealing gold from a gentleman's lodging. Her story was, because this is 1665, the plague has just broken out in London, and her brothers worked as guards at houses to not let anyone come out, but she worked inside of a house taking care of the family, and when they all died, she took some of the gold and ran away. And she got caught with a pocket full of gold, and she looks poor, so you must have stolen it into the stocks with you.
Unfortunately, that does in fact track.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kids back then were looking for pennies and shit, so.
Yep. John Crookshank is Almont's aide, and he objects to him picking Anne Sharp as the servant for the house.
Why?
Because she was accused of witchcraft, and he's a Puritan, so he's scared of her.
Ooh.
And Almont is like, all women get accused of witchcraft, you idiot.
It's like, no, you idiot, that's not real. We made that up.
Yes, that's basically his attitude.
Stop being stupid.
And he's like, I know what witches look like. They have weird colored eyes and a third tit. This one obviously looks normal. And he's like, I'll look for the stigmata. It's fine. Mr. and Mrs. Hacklet, the new secretary, are shocked at the state of Port Royal and its people. Women are half naked, drunks are lurching around, there's debauchery everywhere.
Yeah, debauchery by a puritanical standard, yeah.
Yes, and they're Puritans as well.
Yeah.
And so they're just absolutely horrified. Hacklet calls the people in the town pirates, and Almont has to correct him that no, they are privateers. We hang pirates.
They're only pirates when they're not on our side.
They're pirates when they're French. When they're English, they are men of the sea. They're gentlemen of the ocean
that
waves.
just happen to pilfer some French goods
it was
every
just
now
sitting
and then.
there.
Yeah.
They had to rescue it.
And those dirty Frenchmen were also shooting at us, so we deserve it, really.
Mm-hmm. England controls only 3 colonies in the Caribbean at this time. They control St. Kitts, Barbados, and Jamaica. The rest is held by Spain. There are no English soldiers or warships to, like, keep them safe. Their only really means of protection are privateers and being too small to really harass. But the Spanish, if they come across an English ship, will blow them up.
Right.
You just try to stay out of their way. So you have areas that are Spanish waters where you can expect to run into Spanish ships. And if you can stay out of those, you're kind of okay.
Yeah.
Because, of course, you know, this is back when, you know, we have, you know, the paper maps, and you're not exactly calling up and saying, hey... his directive has been to grow the colony and to farm, but he hasn't been sent any farmers. He doesn't have any resources. The only stuff coming into the port is like merchant ships who trade and privateers who bring gold and loot.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like stuck there, like he has to send taxes to the king. He doesn't have any way of making money. And so he just tries to keep the town well behaved enough that they're not all killing each other, and a loose enough hand that they keep coming back.
Yeah, fine line to strike there.
And he's like, oh my God, Hacklet is going to just be a pain in my ass, you know, because he's a Puritan who's like,
straight-laced.
These awful pirates, and...
He's not going to be understanding of me stealing all this shit.
Right, we're taking his 10th. Almont suspects that Mrs. Hacklet was a personal favorite of the king, which is how they ended up in Port Royal. And I don't understand how his line of reasoning there, because the implication is that Mrs. Hacklet was having sex with the king.
Oh.
That this is like a reward for them, a favorable thing, but I can't understand sending them away if she's your favorite.
Yeah, that doesn't quite track.
And to be a secretary to the governor in Jamaica is not a prestigious place or role. So I'm not sure if there was like conflict at court and she was getting sent away as a punishment.
Yeah.
It's not expressly made clear what happened there.
Okay. What's the thing that kind of implies that to you, that she was sleeping with the king? Was there any particular line, or...?
He suspects it, and then she later confirms it.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't quite track if she's the favorite.
And, you know, she talks about having sex with him and being his favorite, and then it's possible she fell out of favor and was sent away.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anne Sharp is the felon woman who is chosen to be servant. She's 14 to 15, has been used for sex by everyone along the way.
Gross.
Because, you know, she gets caught and sent to jail. Someone sees that she's pretty and is like, hey, I can get you out of jail and send you to the New World after I have sex with you. On the ship, the captain is like, I can have sex with her and I will feed her better food. And she's like, well, okay.
I guess this is
my lot in
one bit
life.
of leverage in this world.
Yeah. So she spends the book kind of like flirting with everyone to just try to curry favor and get better food and get her better care. And
sad.
It's sad. I don't see a reason he couldn't have made her 17.
Right, yeah, it is weird to make that character 15 and have this fate. Yeah, I don't think it functionally changes anything if the character is an adult.
It just makes it gross that like the governor calls her child.
Yeah.
She is very obviously 14 maybe.
Yeah.
And everyone assumes she's an early teen. So they know that they're having sex with a young teenage girl, and we move on. There's no commentary. There's never shown to be like, that's bad, and we could have aged her up.
Yeah.
So I feel like
kind of disappointing that
he wanted to be like, oh, well, it's normal in this time that this would happen. And it's like, yeah, okay, but I still think that it is gross by today's standards.
Yeah.
And this is possibly something that he wrote it a long time ago and didn't update this to be more comfortable for people.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a side issue that I just found annoying. The governor, she gets bathed and put in clean clothes, and she's like amazed. These are the nicest clothes she's ever had, because she's been poor and living on the streets basically, and then in prison. And she's sent to the governor, and he says he has to look for the stigmata, so take off her clothes. She takes off her clothes, and he, looks under her armpits and looks under her breasts, and he's like, well, it might be hiding in your private parts. So he sticks his nose down in there, and that tickles, and she laughs. And he gets offended, and then he laughs and just jumps in bed with her, and haha, it's a great time. After he had called her child.
Yeah.
And we're going from his perspective. We are going from him as our initial main character, which I just find really gross that it's so normalized. There is no thought of anyone of, hey, not great, you know. And I just be like, there's still the power imbalance. There's still the bad part of it of she's a servant and he's just doing this to her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, good God, this is how we're starting the book.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well. How old is he, the governor?
40, 50?
Yeah, that tracks too.
Yeah. He has a really, really bad gout, so he, like, walks, like, with a cane. But I think he's not ancient. He's
Right.
just old by that age, that standard.
Right.
He tells her, so they're laying there after sex, and he's like, tell me about your voyage, and he's kind of like dozing and not listening. And then she talks about how they were blown by a storm, and they saw an island that had a harbor where a Spanish ship was docked, and it didn't chase them. And he's like, what? And he's like, tell me about this harbor. She, like, tells him, yes, it was on this side. Yes, the ship looked like this. And he's like, what? And he jumps up and demands for his manservant to go get Hunter, and he goes away. And she thinks that she did something wrong and starts to cry.
Oh.
Because she's just left laying in bed naked, having,
doesn't understand his line of thought there.
Right. Because he's thinking on this other whole plot line.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, I've said something wrong. I'm going to get kicked out and be in a prison again. We move to Captain Hunter. He is the actual main character that we spend most of the book with. And we are now finally introduced to him. He's a privateer, and he gets invited to dinner at the governor's mansion that evening, which is the person that the governor was like, go get him. On his way to go to dinner, a French sailor accuses him of cheating at cards, so he kills him with a tankard of ale.
Hyper violent.
Very violent.
That's violent real fast.
He walks up to him, shoves the tankard into his face, picks it, pulls it, and smashes it in the top of his head. Looks around, no one was watching, whistles on his way out the door.
That's kind of funny, actually. But yeah, that is kind of a standard trope, and definitely in westerns for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that kind of makes sense.
At dinner, he finds Anne attractive, but she's just serving dinner and kind of ignores him.
Right.
Everyone
busy.
finds her attractive and very young and pretty.
Upsetting.
Yeah.
That happens.
They eat and discuss the voyage, and Hunter understands the significance of the ship in the harbor that didn't chase them. It's a treasure ship that would have been taking treasure from the New World back to Spain. It's not like a fighting galleon.
Yeah.
Like, it does have guns, but it is meant to carry treasure, and it's not like, policing the waters here.
Right.
So because it's in a safe harbor, it stays there. And he's like, oh, it got separated from its fleet. It is vulnerable. If I can get into that harbor and take that ship, we will be millionaires. We will be so wealthy. He's a privateer. This is all he thinks about.
Yeah.
And the governor knows that he'll get part of the money back if he outfits Hunter and sets up his crew. So we have to build us a crew.
This is fun.
It is fun. We go on, we build a crew. We do a Rick and Morty.
Yeah. I do
God damn it, I'm in.
I do love a heist scenario.
And he literally goes around picking people for his heist who each have skills.
There's one-legged Roberts, and he's really good at shooting cannons or something.
Basically. So they're finishing up dinner. Hunter and Almont are like negotiating over who's going to get the bigger half. And Almont is like, well, we have to get half because we're going to outfit you. And Hunter's like, oh, no one will go out for that. And so they're like arguing. The problem is the island that the ship is at is heavily protected because there's a fortress there. And it has cannons that shoot out into the ocean and across the harbor.
Yeah.
The fortress is run by Cazalla, who is a horrible, evil Spaniard. A man who enjoys the sound of screaming and uses that to put him to sleep.
Oh.
True, just pure villain.
Right.
He has no nuance. Pure villain.
So how does Anne get involved?
She doesn't. She just becomes a background character, even though we used her to set all of this up.
Yeah, that's a weird... Yeah, set up that character through all her scenarios and...
Kind of discard her. She comes back at the very end of the story and is not really... Yeah.
Satisfying.
No, and I feel like some things like this are plot lines that kind of got dropped, and they were supposed to be more, and they weren't. Hacklet is shocked and calls Hunter a rogue, which then meant a really bad person, and now we think, oh, rapscallion, you know. that's a more of a fun, jovial term, or a specific class in D&D.
Yeah. It's like, you're the coolest man in the room, basically.
Yeah. Almont warns him that dueling is illegal, but it still happens because he's insulting Hunter to his face.
Got to do something about that, especially if you're a rogue.
Yes. Well, and their honor and their reputation is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Hacklet insists, he doubles down. He insists that Hunter is a murderer, a scoundrel, a whoremonger, and a pirate.
He used the P word.
At the word pirate, Hunter grabs him by the head and shoves his face into his food. And he holds him there until he apologizes.
That's pretty fun.
It is very funny. He finally apologizes. The governor's like, well, unpleasantness avoided. Because we didn't end up with a duel.
Right.
And
God, I can see that scene in my head, though.
Yes. It's very cinematography. It is meant for television. It's meant for a movie.
Right.
It was so obviously meant to be a movie.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hacklet is now interested in Hunter because he is a pirate and a scoundrel.
A brave, hot rogue?
Yes. Yeah. Basically.
People love a rake.
Yep.
Or rambler.
And a shovel. Okay. Hunter and Almont retire to the governor's study to negotiate and make a plan. And this is very classic Ocean's 11. We don't get to see the plan. We have to... Ocean's 11. God damn it. I didn't even think about that.
The real Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. How many people are on the crew?
I mean, 80, but...
Ocean's 80.
His actual, personal little group of guys to go on the island is, 6 or 7 people, 8 people maybe, I can't remember.
I'm imagining Brad Pitt as Hunter from now on.
He is supposed to be very handsome and dashing. So we can see what kind of story we have now. It is a heist story, Ocean's 11, haha. And we're going to go get this ship of gold. That's what the story plot is now.
And kill some Frenchies.
Spaniards.
Spaniards.
These are all Spaniards now. Yeah. We don't deal with the French anymore. This is actually based on real events.
That's
on
cool.
A real true expedition against this fortress thing.
I feel robbed.
I know, because parts of it are so good. I know. There's no co-author listed. I believe that this was edited by, an editor at HarperCollins.
Yeah.
It's just, I'll show you in a couple of different spots.
Yeah.
And later parts of the book are written really well.
Yeah.
It just feels like, especially through the first third of the book, he is only writing the plot.
I mean, a lot of times writers struggle with just beginning a book, so maybe this is just him writing through the block to get to the point that, the actual part that kept him interested at that moment, and then he could always come back and fix the beginning later.
Right, and that's how I feel like it may have happened. Like, plot. Oh, this scene, I know how this scene is supposed to go. Works on this specific scene for quite a while, and it's brilliant. And then that happens a few different times, and then the other parts are just so empty and sad. And I am just so disappointed.
But it is really cool that he was basing this off of, like, keeping it so realistic and basing it off of a historical thing. It kind of reminds me of Blood Meridian.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if that hampered his ability to write our main character, though. Mm-hmm. Hunter isn't based on any particular privateer. Like, this is a fictional conglomeration of all the other research he did.
Right.
And he wanted to create this new character with this new name.
Just fit in.
Yes, who would do, but I kind of feel like maybe he had a hard time fleshing him out because he was following historically accurate. And I've noticed people can have a harder time writing fictional characters when they're based on true events. Yes, it causes a limitation in your head because you don't own the character. It's already partly out there.
Yeah. When did this book come out?
Oh, and that's in my notes too. It was published in 2008 after he died. And there is evidence. He started writing a pirate story in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And further evidence that he was still working on it in the 1980s. And it's possible he wrote this a long time ago and then just set it on a shelf and walked away. The publisher claimed that he was writing it at the same time he was writing next, and that it was a recent book, which would help them with their, like,
selling it,
he was planning on publishing this really soon. He just died too quickly. Versus, oh, this is a manuscript he couldn't finish, didn't like, and shelved. Because I kind of feel like that changes the perspective.
Sell as well.
Yes, it changes the narrative around it. We just can't know because, the wife still has control over the estate and what publishes and what doesn't. They were talking about Spielberg making a movie based on this book. But
God, they should have.
Yeah.
They really should have.
No clue if that'll ever happen.
Yeah.
It would be great, though.
God, of all the shit that comes out as a movie nowadays, and no one's tried this?
There was, 5 Pirates of the Caribbean shit movies. After the negotiations, Hunter and Mrs. Hacklet briefly meet in a hallway, and she apologizes for her husband and kind of hits on him. And he's like, oh, okay.
I get to be a little more roguish now.
And then makes his way back to his stuff, because now he has to go and find every guy on his team. He has to build his team. Hunter goes to, I think I found a plot hole, but I'm not sure if I wrote down the names. It says Trencher is his mate who will go collect everyone. But I think later Trencher is mentioned as being the youngest boy on the crew. So that doesn't make sense. I also noticed the servant to Mrs. Hacklet is named Sarah. And then later a main character is named Sarah. Oh. And I think he didn't go back through and fix some of the names.
Yeah.
Like, side characters kind of just got stuck with the same names, and it didn't get fixed.
Yeah, that would be confusing. Why can't his first mate be a young person?
Well, it was kind of that person dies, and Hunter acts completely indifferent.
Oh. Which
wouldn't be true with this level of intimacy and trust.
Yeah.
He trusts Trencher, his mate, to go find out where every one of these new crew guys are. And he's like, you're going to help me build my team. Go find blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And he trusts him to not blab and tell everyone what's going on. Because they want to keep it secret that they're trying to hit this island. And they don't want everyone to know because there's spies everywhere. Hunter first goes to Whisper, the only survivor of the previous attack on Monticeros, the island where this harbor and this ship are. His throat was cut, but he survived, and now he hides in a back room of an inn. In fear, he can only whisper because he's lost his voice. And he, has a gun on him all the time. He's just become completely destroyed as a person from the previous attack on Monticeros. And that's one of the reasons everyone tells him, you're insane. You should not attack this island. It's impregnable. It is not possible to do this. And that's kind of the against the odds part of the story.
Right.
Is everyone
Setting
is like,
the stakes.
Yes. Can't be done. Impossible. Cannot be done. Whisper draws him a map of the island and explains where everything is, and Hunter pays him extra for his silence because you don't want anyone else to get a map of the island.
Yeah.
The island is in the shape of a U. The fortress is made of stone, and it's a Spanish fortress. It has 30-foot high walls. There's a Spanish military garrison of 300 soldiers, and they have 2 batteries of guns, one pointing out at the ocean and the other across the harbor. So this is a very, very well-defended harbor.
Right.
They're culverin guns. They end up not being fixed mounted. They're on carriages. So that means they can aim inland or out, but you cannot get to the fortress from the body of the island. Mm-hmm. Like, that's impossible, so they only point out at the harbor.
This reminds me so much of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Have you ever heard of that game?
No.
It's a pirate game. You get to be an assassin pirate, and you get to go take over little island fortresses and stuff like that, and they're owned by the British and the Spanish, and I think also the French, but I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fun.
It's a really fun game.
That sounds so fun.
I think it's like the best Assassin's Creed game that has ever came out.
That would probably make me really... I would probably enjoy that so much. From the inland side is a cliff that's 30 feet of vertical rock. Like, you have to climb up the side of this island, up this big hill that's fairly steep, and then you get to a cliff that goes straight up. And then if you can get on top of the cliff, it's a slow, gentle slope down to the harbor. So protecting the fortress and the harbor is this huge wall of rock that nobody can climb.
Right. Yeah. Very defensible position.
Very. Hunter goes to Don Diego de Ramona, who is known as Black Eye or the Jew. He's referred to as the Jew in most of the story.
Is the character actually Jewish, or is
Yeah.
it just a... Okay.
He's Jewish. He sells gold jewelry.
It would have been much funnier if he wasn't.
Right. He's Don Diego de Ramona, and I think he's supposed to be like Spanish from like family wise. He's missing all but the forefinger and thumb of his left hand. Hunter wants him to work with powder again.
Oh, no. You know, I don't think he's the guy you should hire. I'm sure he's got the most experience, but he's also lost a lot of fingers, clearly, from working with this.
And he's pretty reticent because he's missing several fingers.
Like, hey, I like the fingers I still got. I
Yeah.
don't want to lose more.
And like he has a black spot in his eye where it got damaged by like shrapnel, and his eyes weep all the time. Like his eyes are constantly running.
I hate that. I've heard of that kind of injury, and just something about black powder in the eye just really icks me out.
But then Hunter tells him that he wants the Jew to come with him. And he's like, oh, I thought you just wanted money. He's like, no, I want you to come with me to this island to mess up Kazala's shit. And Kazala is the head of that. He's like the commander.
Yeah. Just wants him to set up a bunch of charges.
Yeah. The Jew hates Kazala personally.
Oh. Oh, right. Because he got his... No. I'm thinking of the other guy.
No. Yeah.
He hates him personally.
He just hates him personally. But that's how he gets convinced to come. Every single guy, convince him to come.
You son of a bitch.
I'm in. Hunter then recruits Mr. Enders, a barber surgeon who is an excellent helmsman.
Sorry, a barber surgeon?
Yeah, you know.
They cut your hair with surgical precision?
Surgeons used to be barbers. You would go to the barber for surgery. It was the same profession.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so back, especially like during this time, the people that you would go to for medical care would be your barber, and he would also do any kind of surgery or medical care you needed.
It's weird that barber gets top billing there.
Surgeon barber is harder to say. But yeah, barber surgeon is like...
Of course, I guess they would be seeing... People would see him as a barber more often than they would surgery, probably.
Quite often.
But
and
also being a
generally
surgeon
die.
is so much more important, though.
But I mean, they're not doing like real good surgery.
Right.
They're doing leeches and herbs.
Yeah, I guess.
Like he literally has a leech on a patient when Hunter comes to him.
Yeah, that's wild. I've never heard of that.
Interesting. Yeah, so that was fairly common. Sometimes they would like do dentistry. They would pull your tooth out, and they would do shaves and haircuts and try to like maybe set your limbs. You know, they could do basic stuff.
Yeah.
They were also the most likely to have really sharp tools.
Yeah, that does make sense. I thought there would have been some amount of overlap with Western and stuff like that, but I've never heard of that.
I have a pretty good quote because it shows the humor and the good writing. Like, he did make an effort in this part of the book. "Are you needing a shave, Captain?" he asked Hunter. "A crew. Then you have found your surgeon," Anders said. "And what's the nature of the voyage?" "Logwood cutting," Hunter said, and grinned. "I'm always pleased to cut logwood," Anders said. "And whose logwood might it be?" "Kazala's." Immediately, Anders dropped his bantering mood. "Kazala, you are going to Manticeros?" "Softly," Hunter said, glancing around the street. Captain, suicide is an offense against God."
That's fun.
"Yes. You know that I need you," Hunter said. "But life is sweet, Captain."
But I don't want to die.
"So is gold," Hunter said. So you can see we have good banter in some spots.
Right.
We actually do have, like, humanness, a human quality to the characters occasionally. But I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Anders agrees to go. Move on to the next person. Lazou is a French privateer that Hunters wants for his expedition.
Oh.
So...
he's going to turn the French guy onto their side because he hates the Spanish.
Well, Lazou works as a sailor on English expeditions.
Oh, okay. I thought he was, like, currently a French prisoner from some other privateering they had done.
Right. He just happens to be French.
Gotcha.
He is also a woman.
Ah,
So
we're getting a little bit of
I never remember their names, but there's those two pirate women who would dress as men and then reveal their breasts right before killing people and
James
stuff.
Kidd. Is that one? I think that was her masculine name.
Possibly. I don't
that
remember
might have
their
just
names.
been in the game, though. I might just be remembering her from the game.
But I really love that he brings in this character who is based on historical figures because there was a couple female pirates.
Yeah.
They weren't terribly common, but they were very, very feared.
Yeah. Strengthening my case that the game was based off of this this book.
Could have been. When did the game come out?
Gosh, that would have been around 2010, I think.
Oh, okay. It would have been after this came out. Lazou was raised as a boy. Her mother had had an affair and birthed a girl. And then her toddler son had died. So she started calling the girl the son's name to hide that she'd had an affair. Because the father was away sailing and then would come back in and couldn't be expected to keep up with what children look like or how old they are. And so she called Lazou by his name, and she was raised as a male. And everyone in the town, it's like an open secret, but they don't really care because will cut your tongue out and stab you. Mm-hmm. Just respect.
It's not worth it. Not worth it.
Right. Lazou agrees to go. Next up is the Moor. And there's a whole treatise on how he couldn't be a Moor. He was from this other place, and he had these people, and they were paler skinned than him, and he is huge and black, and it's kind of just details. It shows he's still trying to give every single character a strong backstory.
Right.
They're not really fleshed out very much, but he has all of the seeds there, all of the little pieces.
Yeah. What's a Moor? I know I've heard that one before, but I can't recall. Is it like sort of a nationality or an ethnicity?
I think it's an ethnicity, because it's like, I always thought of the Moors as black people in Spain, because that's how I had read about them in other historical fiction, but they call him the Moor, even though he isn't one, and I think that was like an ethnicity of... like black traders, maybe? Huh. I don't really remember. Yeah. I don't have a lot of details on that.
I'll look it up later.
Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to look up.
Yeah. Editing Bam here. According to Wikipedia, Moors are not a single, distinct, or self-defined people. Europeans of the Middle Ages and early modern period variously applied the name to Arabs, Berbers, Muslim Europeans, and black peoples. The term has been used in a broad sense to refer to Muslims in general, especially those of Arab or Berber descent, whether living in Al-Andalus or North Africa. Related terms such as English blackamoor were also used to refer to black Africans generally in the early modern period. So, yeah, that's neat. Also for that boo?
Yeah. He's a huge black man whose tongue was cut out by the plantation owner who owned him on Hispaniola. And so he killed the slaver who owned him, who had cut out his tongue, and his whole household. And then he fled to Port Royal and works as a sailor. on privateering. He's clever and he uses gestures to get his meaning across. The Moor is playing cards with some Dutchmen. They think that he's dumb, not just mute.
Yeah.
He wins all of their money and he's like, it's mine, you know, kind of just shrugs. And then when one of them goes to pull out a pistol, he just bodily destroys them, throws them out in the street. He sees that they're like arguing and getting mad, and he waves a little boy over and hands him a coin. And that means he's paying in advance for any damages, and the little boy runs away and hides. And the Dutchmen are stupid and not paying attention, so when they pull out the pistol, he just throws them around like rag dolls and throws them into the street. And Hunter is just watching because he's amused. Hunter wants him for climbing the cliff because Hunter believes that is the best way to make it... What?
Keep going. I'm trying not... You made the joke earlier and I don't want to ruin it.
Okay. Because he wants... the Moor to climb the cliff, and he is, basically his Andre the Giant.
Yeah. you told that joke while you were doing notes earlier, and I didn't want to steal it from you.
Well, and it's funny because later on, he literally climbs a cliff and pulls everyone up.
Like Andre the Giant.
Like Andre the Giant and the Princess Bride. And that's kind of his whole point of existing, is to be the giant man who gets them up the cliff.
Yeah. That's funny.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He does give care about, like, where he's from and where he probably came from and his ancestry and stuff. It was pretty interesting.
Do you think that this might have been the stopping block for Michael Crichton? Because he got to that point and he was like, no, I just realized I'm stealing from the Princess Bride. I can't do this.
Honestly, there's a few other bits that I kind of feel get pulled from Princess Bride, too. It's kind of funny. But... I mean, sometimes there's just tropes in good movies and good books.
Which it also depends on when this part was actually written. Because it could have been written in the 70s long before Princess Bride.
That is true.
Or it could have been written like, Maxwell House? No, that's Coffee. Penguin Audio. HarperCollins.
Coffee, but coffee.
Just going by the narrative that HarperCollins is going on.
Right, and we can't really... He could have been working on it a bit at a time over decades. Yeah. We really don't know. Next up is Sanson, who is descended from French executioners. Hunter doesn't trust him, but needs his weapon skills because he's very, very good at killing people. And his role is basically executioner, go in and kill people.
Assassin.
Basically assassin, yeah. And he does other stuff that's like assassin stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sanson drives a really hard bargain for 7 shares. Hunter's, like, frustrated because that's more than he'll get. Or, like, equal to what he'll get. Right. He's, like, demanding a captain's share. But he really needs him. So he, like, kind of lets him get what he wants so he feels like he got a good bargain and will be more cooperative. Yeah. Because he's like a hard guy to work with.
Yeah.
Rumors start to go around about where Hunter is sailing because he's trying to keep the actual goal secret. So he's like, people are like, well, is he going to Havana? Is he going here? Is he going there? You know, because they don't put in a lot of food, but they're ordering really weird stuff like 1,000 feet of rope and grappling hooks and rats.
Rats?
They're paying kids to collect hundreds of rats.
Oh, I can't wait to find out what the rats are for.
Yeah. Fishermen catch a hammerhead shark that has a whole Spanish suit of armor in its gut. And everyone agrees this is portending either an attack by the Spanish or that Hunter is attacking a Spanish colony. Considering they're surrounded by the Spanish, not a stretch.
Or it's just a loot drop.
I don't know.
Like in a video game.
It could have been usable. Could have been usable. It was shiny. Hunter goes to Almont for his papers of Marquis. I don't know if it's Mark or Marquis. M-A-R-Q-U-E.
I think it's pronounced Marquis.
But I thought Marquis had 2 E's. Czech also is C-H-E-Q-U-E in French. I don't know. It's a paper that allows him to go cut logwood for commerce. And logwood is used for dyes and medicines. And so it's like the plausible deniability. Here's your paper that will let you go do commerce.
Yeah.
And you really pinky promise swear you're not going to go do pirate shit.
And then if you get caught on the water and someone's like, hey, what are you doing? Are you doing any pirating? You're like, oh no, we just got lost. I'm just just a idiot captain.
Yes,
actually.
that is the excuse, is you should be heading southwest to go to the places that have logwood. We're heading northeast. Oh, there's a storm.
Yeah. I'm a bad captain, actually.
And then if they get fired upon by a Spanish ship, they get to fight back because they were fired on first.
Yeah, we were just out looking for logwood.
We were just looking for logwood. And Almont gives him money to pay for all of the stuff to go on the expedition.
Yeah.
It's just how things were done. And I really like how, like, I'm not going to go on and on about Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a fun movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was so historically inaccurate, it made me see red as a 13-year-old.
Yeah. This is like, if you're interested in the deep cuts of pirate history rather than just the veneer of piracy.
Yeah. And so just all of these little details are just really fun to me. I really, really love these parts. He goes, on his way out, he's given a letter that is an invitation to join Mrs. Hacklet at an inland spring.
Ooh.
He has to head that way anyway, so why not?
Yeah, inland springs are sexy.
He finds the Jew, like, he's on his way to go see the Jew first, so he can go there after. He finds the Jew surrounded by broken glass, dead animals, saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur. He has been designing a slow fuse, and he has found out that rat intestine, slightly dried out, is the best for a slow fuse because it burns at about an inch a minute.
Oh. And that's what the rats are for? Mm-hmm. Oh.
But because if you let them dry out for more than 2 or 3 days, they get brittle and burn too fast. So they have to have live rats to make fresh fuses. You're so clever!
It's really clever, but...
I don't know if that's accurate. It kind of feels like a stretch.
Yeah,
but it's so cool. It's really
find
clever.
That out. I want to learn about that.
I know.
Who was out here making fuses out of rat guts? That's crazy.
And I feel like there's a couple times he takes some leaps of logic of how people could have done stuff, but he does that in all of his books.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like, even at the time when Jurassic Park was coming out, it wasn't possible to do, like, genetic engineering on that level. He was taking what was known at the time and making a reasonable leap from there.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. And then the Jew has invented a granado. It's a glass bottle that he fills with powder, shot, and a fuse. And this is like a completely brand new idea. Hunter feels disgusted by how ungentlemanly it is.
To throw grenades?
Well, they set it down, light the fuse, and run away. And then it blows up, throwing shards of glass and shot everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's kind of along that idea of, like, shooting a man in the back is wrong. You know, you should fight with a sword face to face, and that's the honorable way to do things.
Yeah.
So we kind of get a sense of, like, he has these ideas around honor and what he should be doing, but he's like, I'll take 12 of them.
Yeah. That is kind of funny, though. It's like, this is a moral horror that you're creating here. Give me as many as you can.
Because he's just practical. Like, he is just, could be useful.
Yeah.
Our little secret. Don't tell anyone about this. Because no one's ever dealt with a grenade before.
Right.
So this is a brand new, like, invention.
Yeah. They're not going to know to pick it up and throw it and hopefully get it away from them in time.
Right. We find out that the Jew hates Kazala personally because Kazala had imprisoned the Jew's son and accused him of being a Jew, even though he had become Catholic. And he tortured and burned him alive, and his family disappeared. And so the Jew very specifically has been building these granados with the intent of causing havoc for Kazala.
Yeah, we love a vengeful dad.
Yeah. Hunter rides his horse to the spring where Mrs. Hacklet invited him. He gives coins to the black... I don't know if they're slaves or they're servants, because it seems like they're more like maids. I don't know what the status of, like, slavery was on Jamaica at that time.
Well, I'm sure the vast majority of plantations that were being done on the Caribbean islands.
The plantations had slaves where you were not allowed to leave. I don't know the status of these women because it's not made clear.
I would imagine they would also be slaves, but I don't know either.
Yeah. He gives them coins so that they'll go away. And he goes and sits on the rock and watches her. And she's like standing facing the other way in the water, bathing herself, talking. And she thinks she's talking to her servants. She talks about how His Majesty was amazing in bed and muses on the size of Hunter's affections. And then she realizes her servant is replying and turns around and he's there. Hunter, yeah. She gets really angry that he's been watching her this whole time, and her anger arouses him. Oh. Not great.
Yeah. I like seeing you upset.
He pulls her out of the pond. He's like, here, gives her a hand, pulls her up, and she shoves him in.
Yeah.
And he pretends to be drowning. And so then she reaches to help him and he throws her back in. Yes. Very just movie. You can see this movie scene. Yeah. This is just,
I'm pretty sure I've seen this scene 1,000 times.
Exactly. So he threw her in. She is pissed off. Here's the quote. "You are nothing," she sputtered, "but a bastard, a rogue, a cutthroat, vicious, rascally, whoreson scoundrel." "At your service," Hunter said, and kissed her. She broke away. "And forward," he agreed, and kissed her again. "I suppose you intend to rape me like a common street woman." "I doubt," Hunter said, stripping off his wet clothing, "that it will be necessary." And it was not. "In daylight?" she said, in a horrified voice, and those were her last intelligible words. This is the man that we're supposed to be, thinking is so suave and amazing. Mm-hmm. It's really not.
Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of suave. A little bit. It's not, really depthy in detail, and it's kind of, I don't know, commonplace. There's nothing super special about it, but...
It just feels really forced, and, we have seen him kill a guy, plan to kill other guys, go around planning stuff. We don't have anything in him as a person to make us think he's more than a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of forcing this situation of oh, I think he's attractive. And then we do the play thing and now sexy time. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly,
for me, a story like this doesn't require a lot of sex and stuff to sell it, and it could be...
I think it's unnecessary. Yeah. I think it's really odd to have the relationship with her. There's no need for it. I would have cut it.
This could be, this is just a thing he felt he had to add into the book to sell to a broader audience.
Possibly.
Sex sells, and that's always been a thing. He might have just not gotten back to that part to really zhuzh it up really well. He's just putting in so that he can sell the stuff that he's more interested in later on in the story.
But my thing is, he has no desire for her.
Yeah.
We do not feel, as the reader, any emotion on his part toward her at all.
Yeah.
She has invited him. He shows up. Naked woman. Okay, sex.
And he's just there.
And we could have had, she's attractive. She's beautiful. We could have a description of her body or his reaction to her or any feelings and thoughts at all. And there's none.
Yeah.
And I'm just there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Yeah. Very, very frustrating. Back at the governor's office, Mr. Hackett confronts Almont about the rumors of him outfitting a privateering expedition. Almont has plausible deniability because of the logwood, but Hackett isn't satisfied and writes a letter to the king. He gives it to Anne to put on the next ship to England. She flirts with him and he's disgusted.
Oh.
Because he's a Puritan and he actually upholds those ideals and follows them, where his wife is also a Puritan but doesn't follow any of the rules. And she's off having sex with Hunter.
Yeah.
They're just stuck in an unhappy marriage.
Yeah.
Hunter,
he's snubbing her not because she's 14. It's just against his moral code to have sex with someone besides his wife.
I think so. Yeah. Hunter's ship is the Cassandra, and it's outfitted for the voyage. I really, really enjoyed how accurate it was when they described the details of how much water they needed, the food they needed, everything, going on the ship and all the details around that. I found that part really great. And instead of taking the letter and putting it on a ship to England, she takes it to Almont and he's outraged. because my secretary's tattling on me to the king. Could ruin a good thing, and that's not his place.
Yeah.
He decides he'll need to deal with Hacklet.
We're going to have a little ass-assing.
It, just causes some political intrigue that happens later. It doesn't really matter that much. The Cassandra makes sail, and Hunter tells them the rules and their goal, because you kind of try to keep everything secret till you're out of the harbor on your way. Everyone's excited. He has a 70-foot ship with 60 fighting men. They sail pretty quickly on their way. Sanson brings up the fact that Kazala killed Hunter's brother by hanging him by his arms, cutting off his testicles, and shoving them in his mouth until he choked and died. Hunter just shrugs it off.
He's like,
Sanson is the one bringing this up.
That did happen, in fact. Moving on.
Yes. Sanson's like, hey, we're going to go fight the guy who murdered your brother. Feelings? Thoughts?
Yeah.
Hunter did not answer for some time. That is the story, he said finally. And you believe it? Yes. Sanson scanned his face. The crafty English. Where's your anger, Hunter? I have it, Hunter said.
I've got it, I assure you. Somewhere.
Sanson nodded. He stood. When you find Kazala, kill him quickly. Do not let this hatred cloud your brain. My brain is not clouded. No, I see it as not.
Yeah, that's the lines you say when you're trying to convince someone that you're not clouded with anger, but you're supposed to have some actual anger in there somewhere.
You're supposed to feel something? I feel... And it never comes back up. He never confronts Kazala about it. He never says, for my brother, stab. We don't have a Inigo Montoya.
No arc, yeah.
You killed my father, prepare to die. It never comes up again. Only time it's mentioned. Sanson left. Hunter remained staring into the fire for a long time. That's how that is resolved?
He's just zoning out. He's just not paying attention to anyone.
But this could have been motivation for this character.
Yeah. This character is refusing the motivations that other characters are trying to give him. The
character's like, hey, here's your backstory.
I'm not feeling like revenge for my brother right now.
I'm just like, what? At least Sanson is greedy. At least we have seen people have motive.
Yeah, he's got a character trait somewhere.
Yeah, greedy assassin. Okay, we have more personality and a little side character.
Yeah, I can get behind a greedy assassin.
They see a ship and they change course to Latitudes.
Sorry, say that again.
Let's come Caiques. Cakes. Also, I didn't write it very well. My handwriting is terrible there. It's a Spanish for something.
Lost Cakes. Lost Cakes. Yeah, we're in Lost Cakes because the other one you said was way too close to a slur.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what I said.
It was a slur for Jewish people.
Oh, I apologize. I was trying very hard to read what I wrote, and I do not know Spanish.
You very clearly didn't say it, but
okay, good.
It was close enough that my mind went there.
Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't. The ship gains on them. It gets faster. It opens fire. They are an English ship in Spanish waters. They're in the wrong here, so they decide to stop and get arrested.
Oh.
Basically. Because they could have, the island where they could have gotten safe harbor is too far away. They're going to get outrun. They have no escape. Hunter says to stand down and just accept their fate. But Sanson insists he will fight. He's doing all of his pistols.
Stabby.
Yeah, he's got all of his knives and his boots and he's getting his pistols primed and he's like, I'm fighting. And Hunter is like, well, if you're going to fight... Pss, 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 pss.
That's 100% God, that's straight off of a TV show.
Yes. So Sanson creeps away and disappears. The Spanish ship comes up beside them and takes them all captive. It's a huge galleon. Mm-hmm. Hunter is taken to the captain in his cabin, and the captain is pouring wine, and he turns around to offer it to Hunter, and it's Kazala! Surprise! The evil Spaniard himself. Hunter is shocked. This is the first time we have an emotion from him at all. He is shocked.
He's surprised to see the guy that he was planning on stealing from.
Yeah. He thought Kazala would be at the fortress, not on this ship. So he is legitimately, like, horrified. Like, oh my god.
It's like, no, you're not supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be at the climax. We're not there yet.
Exactly. That's basically what it is. He tries to think up a reason to explain where they are in the ocean.
Yeah.
Because they have their logwood paper or whatever. But he's like, yeah, obviously not.
Yeah.
And so he tries to, like, lie. And he's like, you're so obviously lying. He tells them they're going to Augustine. And he's like, there's swamps and crocodiles. Why would you go there?
Also, I killed your brother.
He knows that Hunter recognizes him, and he's like, you look familiar. Mm-hmm. How do I know you?
You look like someone whose balls I cut off and stuff.
All Englishmen look alike. Never mind. So I kind of thought, oh, we're going to have a through line with the brother. Nope, dropped it.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, I've killed you before, or something. And no,
you look like someone I tortured horrifically.
Mm-hmm. He makes clear how famous of a pirate Hunter is and how big of a bounty and how everyone wants his head and he is the bestest, greatest pirate in the area. And he's like, I will get so much money cutting off your head and sending it to Spain. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
You know who else gets a lot of money for cutting people's heads off and sending them to Spain?
Oh my God, no!
I don't know why I decided that one was the time to throw away for a break, but
thank God we do not have sponsors. They would be offended.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. As long as we don't have sponsors, I'm just gonna keep getting worse.
True. This is very true.
Hello, bad book loving friends. Just updating our socials. We're on Blue Sky now at bugs-bibliowrecks.bsky.social. We have a Substack at Bugs and Books, and the profile name is Bugs at BiblioWrecks. And of course, our website, BiblioWrecks.com. Drop us a message and check out the content that Bugs works on. She's really good at the social stuff. And let's get back to that bad book. And we're back, and we've got the receipts for our heads.
We did not lose them on a pirate vessel. Kazala can tell that he's lying, but he cannot figure out the destination. Mm-hmm. Because as we know, the island and the fortress is impregnable and impossible to be the goal.
Yes, this roguish man would never attack the most well-fortified base in the Caribbean.
Exactly. It's just impossible, so no one would even try. Kazala says, well, I'll question your crew. One of them will tell me. And they go down to the main deck, and his crew is standing in a couple of lines, tied with their hands tied. They've been taken prisoner, and Kazala questions them, but no one speaks. And he goes and questions the youngest, who doesn't answer, so he just slits his throat.
Oh.
And everyone's like, oh, great. But he just is not reactive or do anything. And this is like the youngest kid on the cruise, like 17. And that's the one that I thought was named Trencher, but I didn't write it down. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But he's just kind of like numb and like,
somebody was going to die. Might as well be the child.
And I mean, they are going to be hung as pirates.
Yeah.
That's just what's going to happen now. They get taken to the very bottom deck on the ship, so it's like 4 foot tall. Like, it's very, very low, and it smells of bilge, and it's gross. And really hot. They're watched by soldiers and made to, like, sit up. And anytime they try to sleep or lay down, they get kicked, so they're just kept awake nonstop. Those soldiers leave, and new soldiers replace them, but they're, like, less attentive. They're not going anywhere. And let's play cards. One of the sailors gets taken away, and the soldiers make a game of peeing on the seaman and seeing who can pee the furthest.
Peeing on the seaman.
Yes.
For the grossest sentence in this episode, I think.
Here's a quote that will show you what I kind of mean with Hunter just not being a full-fledged character.
Yeah.
Quote, Hunter was only dimly aware of these events. He was very tired. His legs burned with fatigue and his back ached. He began to wonder why he had refused to tell Kazala the purpose of the voyage. It seemed a meaningless gesture. They've been prisoner for 12 hours.
He's just ready to give up so
He
hard.
has just given up. They have had one change of the guards, presumably an 8 or 12-hour shift.
Right.
And he's like, oh, it's all over.
It's been so
pointless."
long.
And he is just already apathetic and just done with this, I guess.
Yeah.
They go and they take him up to the main deck, and he hears a woman crying. He's taken to Kazala, and Kazala has found the rope, the grappling hooks, the live rats, and the canvas bags. And he doesn't understand what the purpose is of all this random junk.
That's funny.
He's like, you know,
the rats.
the English take rats with them.
They brought their own.
They bring their own rat. It must be special rats. And the semen they took before is tied to the deck, and they spread cheese on his face. And Kazala holds the cage with the 4 starving rats, like, next to his head. And they go insane, because, I mean, you're not going to feed rats that you're going to kill and use their entrails, so why would you? He threatens to release them, and the sailor tells him they are sailing to Monteseros, the island. And Kazala doesn't believe him, and releases the rats, and they chew up the sailor's face, and chew him to death, I guess.
That's kind of a funny turn of events. I mean, other than the face eating.
Yeah. And then they just take Hunter back down.
Huh.
That was the only point of that.
Fun.
Sanson has been hiding in the bilge on the Cassandra. He had a little reed pipe, like a little piece of reed, and was breathing through it in the bilge to hide.
I thought when you brought that part up in the bilge, I thought that might have been where he was hiding at.
And of course,
nobody wants to go down
nobody's
there.
going to go into the bilge and search. And they looked as much as you can look into a bilge.
Yeah.
But he has a canvas bag that's sealed with the granados, so nobody could find those. And then he goes up. There's soldiers there, so he goes back down. He goes to the other end, gets up, kills every single one of the sailors and soldiers that are on the Cassandra. He then goes over to the Spanish ship and manages to, kill this one, take his uniform, kill that one, get down to the bottom deck, kill the guards, release everybody, so they escape. When he goes to release Hunter, though, he's like, this will cost you 2 shares. And Hunter's mad.
That's funny.
And he agrees, because what is he going to do? What else are you going to do? And we know he's greedy. That Sanson is good at killing and greedy.
True to form.
Yep. Kazala and the crew of the Spanish ship wake up, and they are hard beached with a low tide.
So what they do, just turn the ship while everyone was asleep and just turn it into the...
They cut the anchor so that it just fell, like, quietly, and then it drifted to this beach. And so, and because they're on a low tide, they can escape, but they have to wait the 12 hours until it's high tide. Or 6 hours or whatever. And Kazala realizes that they are going to Monteseros, and that soldier was telling the truth, that he's,
Darn you! You emotionless privateer, man!
Handsome rogue! The Cassandra sails directly to Monteseros. They see evidence of a destroyed English merchant ship on the way, and it was too close to the Spanish, so the Spanish blew it up.
Yeah.
Obviously. They get to the island, and they drop off the landing party on the western side of the island, and the landing party is everyone we introduced at the beginning, except for Whisper, because he was just to draw the map. Enders stays at another island. Enders is the pilot, so he's, like, in charge of the ship.
Yeah.
And he's going to take the ship to a different island and hide in a harbor. And Hunter tells him to come back in 4 days, and dawn of the 5th day to sail directly into the harbor on the island. So if his plans go badly, the whole ship is going to just get blown up.
Stakes for later.
Yes. And so they're on a time limit because they have to go in, and they have guns that will just shoot Cassandra to pieces. So this is our hard timeline. Hunter assures him, I'll be there. I will be there. We'll
Yeah,
make it.
You'd think they'd set up like some kind of signal, like, oh, if I take the fortress, I'll wave a white flag or something, and then you can come in.
But the thing is, they can't fight everyone in the fortress. What they want to do is get in and steal
Disable
the
the
galleon. They're stealing the treasure ship and sailing it and the Cassandra away. They just want to steal it. They can't fight all the soldiers because they're like 6 people against 300 Spanish troops. So the whole thing is to get in, steal the goods, and get out.
Yeah.
Hunter, Sanson, Lazu, the Moor, and Don Diego, the Jew, go ashore. They find a stream and they use it to climb through the dense jungle because just trying to chop through the jungle is way too hard. So they kind of crawl up this creek because it has this little tiny tunnel, basically.
Yeah.
They sleep and then they continue the next day. That afternoon, they make it to the cliff. It's 400 feet up, and a really strong breeze is blowing. And they see that a storm is coming on the horizon. And he's like, oh, we need to go right now. And everyone else is like, we should wait. Wait until the storm blows over and then go. And he's like, if it takes too long, my boat's gonna end. Because he owns the Cassandra.
Right.
That is his ship. If it comes in and gets blown to smithereens, he's done for.
Yeah.
So he's like, we can't wait. We have to go right now. The Moor climbs the cliff and takes the 2 ropes with him. And then he attaches them at the top. Well, one is a guideline, and then the other he pulls. And he drops it down. They attach the canvas bag of supplies, because that's what the funny canvas bags were, and those carry them up. It's getting more windy, so everyone's like dizzy and having a hard time.
Yeah.
Lazu gets pulled up, and they have like a canvas sling that's attached to the rope, so it's like your butt is in the sling, and then you're holding the guideline and like going up while the Moor is pulling them up. And then the Jew gets pulled up, and it starts to rain. It's Hunter and Sanson left at the bottom of the cliff, and Hunter is like, no, you go, me last. Quote, if you die, I will take your shares. And then he laughed, his laughter trailing off into the wind. Like, Sanson has so much more personality.
Yeah. I can see why they made a game based off of this movie now, because the assassin character is much more compelling.
Yeah, he really is. He's not a good person, but he's interesting. It's Hunter's turn, it's raining, everything is slippery, and halfway up, the rope gives way, holding the sling, because it's been pulled across the rock on the edge of the cliff 5 times. And now he feels it like stop and wobble and stretch. And so then he grabs a hold of the guideline really tight. And the sling is like stuck to him, and he manages to kick it off. And then he climbs the rope all the way to the top. I really like the fact that Crichton actually deals with the physical after effects of this climb, because so many hero stories, they do these impossible physical feats, get beat up and messed up,
and then they just walk away. Sit down and then they're good.
Yeah, like no bruises, no scratches, nothing. He actually is like, his clothing is full of holes, his face is raw. Like when he gets to the top, he falls over basically unconscious, and his arms and legs are still twitching, like he's still climbing. And the next day he wakes up and he can barely move because climbing the lead rope, his body is scraping against the rock all the way up, and his legs and muscles are just completely destroyed from climbing.
And those climbing muscles are muscles you don't generally use a whole lot.
Even as a sailor climbing the reg where he's the captain, he's not doing that very much. So he still does a lot of physical activity, but it's not nearly as much as, the crew who are climbing the rigging. So I just really liked that he actually deals with, he hurts and he's slow the next day. It doesn't cause any plot issues or anything, but I just like that it's addressed.
Yeah.
They see the ship. Kazala has made it back to the island, but the storm has blown away and there's no sign of the shore party, because he's like, I know they're here. I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna search them. So he's like sending out crew everywhere. He's sending out, guards and patrols, and they're looking at all the beaches, and they're like, we know they're here somewhere, but they can't possibly make it over that cliff. No one could climb that cliff. They don't have Andre they have Andre the Giant.
They have Andre the Giant. Sorry, Captain. I regret to inform you, they do have an Andre the Giant.
They look through the telescope and spy out the fortress and get the lay of the land. They see the guns. They see how it's all set up. The Jew says they're going to breach the cannons, which means putting too much gunpowder on the inside. So when it blows...
It blows out instead of...
It blows up. It blows
it's
through
supposed
the
to.
hole at the top of the gun instead of out the front. Yeah. Go into detail about all the gunpowder and all the plans and blah, 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 blah. Have a fairly nice history of actually cannons and how cannons are designed and built, and I enjoyed that part a lot.
Yeah.
Probably not the most important part of a adventure story.
Yeah.
But they see that Kazala's ship has entered the harbor, and so they're like, we might have to fire it because it's going to be in the way and we can't sail it. And they see Kazala in a longboat going to the fortress with a dark-skinned woman in the boat with him. They managed... The slope is, like, sparsely
Vegetated? Vegetable.
sparsely...
The island is sparsely asparagus.
Yes.
Asparagus vegetable.
It has very little
Good.
cover on the slope coming down to the fortress.
Yeah.
And so they slowly make their way down. The ship leaves, so that's fine. They find a small stand of trees and they go to sleep because everything has to be timed for the 5th morning.
Right.
And that's the next morning. They get woken up by Spaniards walking past and talking, and they're carrying tents and stuff, and they're heading up the slope to go to the top of the cliff. Because Kazala is trying to search the entire island.
Right.
They're wanting to go kill the Spanish. They can't because a snake went up Lazoo's leg. A little coral snake that everyone's scared of went up her leg, and she's laying there frozen. That scene takes quite a while, but basically they catch a chick out of a little nest and they tie it to a little string at the bottom of the leg of her pants.
That's so silly.
And the snake goes back down her pants to go after the little chick.
No, that's too silly.
And then that's how they manage
It's
to save
entirely
Lasso.
too silly. You can't do that. That's too silly. that was a play. I'm almost certain that is a placeholder idea. It's funny and it's creative, but I don't think it belongs in this.
It's so unnecessary. And then they kill the snake and they're able to move on. They make their way to the fortress. There's lots of patrols moving this way, moving that way, avoiding everybody. They use their grappling hooks to scale the wall. The Jew and Hunter are going toward the magazine, which is the building that holds all of the munitions, all of the powder, and all of that stuff. The Moor, Sanson, and Lazoo are going to get a longboat to go to the galleon because they want to take the treasure galleon and start sailing it out of the harbor. That way, Cassandra can, come in, pick them up, and then follow the galleon out. Lazoo is like, I've got this. And she pulls off her shirt and struts down the pier to the soldiers...
Seduce
the soldiers who are protecting the longboats, and they're like, oh, woman,
had a woman.
breasts. And she stabs them, and blood, splatters across her breasts, and it's very dramatic.
Hot.
Very hot. They get the longboat, they go to the galleon and start getting it. They manage to get on there, kill everybody. The Jew is taking possum entrails because they had to hunt along the way. They lost their rats.
We lost our rats. We gotta have something.
And he was like, any small animal is fine. Any small mammal. So at some point they got possum entrail. They take powder and they go to the guns and they add extra powder and shot to each of the guns. So then when they go and they load them again, it'll be double shot and it'll blow up the cannons. And they also put sand down every barrel so that it'll destroy... No, it'll destroy the, not beveling, but the inside, and it'll change the,
the rifling?
Aim. Yes.
Do cannons have rifling?
No, but it'll still change. They won't shoot true anymore.
Okay.
Because it'll scratch it all up.
Yeah.
And it'll put some kind of spin on the ball.
Okay. Neat.
Yeah.
I
Basically,
like
we're making these completely unusable.
Right.
Hunter and the Jew place fuses in the magazine building to blow up all the munitions, because that'll cause distraction and bring everyone there, and then they can go escape, get onto the Cassandra, and sail away. Kazala bursts in and has a sword, and Hunter finds a sword, and they sword fight. ching, 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 ching. And Hunter has
left-handed.
He is facing the magazine, and then every time he just backs up a little, and Kazala's like, "Are you a coward?" And Hunter's trying to get away from the magazine that's about to explode.
That's funny.
It's
That's
pretty funny.
It's just, what are you doing? Are you afraid? Yeah.
And so
Not you, but
yeah, Don Diego like took off because Hunter was like, "I've got this, ha, run," and so Don Diego runs, and so then Kazala realizes that Hunter is like actively moving away. He's like, "What? You damn, you did," and he turns around and it explodes in his face.
Yeah, that's kind of unsatisfying.
Very, very unsatisfying.
Oh, the explosion's right behind me, isn't it?
The crew on the Galleon and the Cassandra see the explosion in the magazine, but they see that the cannons are still there. And they're like, "Oh my god, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die." Because nobody bothered telling them they were just gonna breach the guns. You could have just told people that was your plan, but no, we need a little bit more drama. Hunter gets stuck in the fortress trying to escape because he cannot fight 300 Spaniard soldiers. And he is just like running through rooms trying to get out. He comes across a prisoner who is Lady Sarah Almont. She is the darker-skinned woman who was the prisoner in the longboat, and she is niece to the governor of
Yeah, I was going to say
Jamaica.
The governor's name was Almont.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is the niece of the governor. And he tells her to get dressed, and Kazala bursts in.
Again?
Sword fight again.
Kazala, you exploded! I lived.
He just becomes constantly...
He's just constantly busting in at inconvenient moments for the main character. He's just like, "Aha, I got you now, you devilish rogue!"
So they sword fight, and he stabs Kazala. And then they run down a hallway, find a window, and jump out. It's 30 feet up, so her ankle gets twisted, but not his. So he can heroically help her, hobble down the hill.
That makes sense. Man ankles are 50% less damaged by impact.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So the guns shoot at Cassandra and they blow up spectacularly. And then the slow fuses, they had put powder under the carriages so that the carriages would get destroyed too. And so that explodes again and blah, blah, blah. The crew starts moving the ships out of the harbor and they pull Don Diego out of the water because he's swimming. The niece can't swim, but they throw them a rope and they hang on and get pulled into the boat. So everyone's saved. Hooray.
Yay.
They're
Kazala's dead twice.
Kazala is dead twice.
Does he die a third time?
Yes.
I think.
I think he does.
We'll find out.
I really hate how he wrote Lady Sarah Almont because she is so stupid. She is so stupid. And we point out how stupid she is in every scene. And I didn't bother writing it down. But she's just there to irritate Hunter.
Oh.
And he just hates her.
So maybe this was another romance thing, it's that romance trope.
It felt like it was supposed to be enemies to lovers,
right.
But it just never happens. They just hate each other the whole time.
Yeah. He's this devilish rogue that flies by the seat of his pants, and she's the rule-abiding governor's niece.
She's just this hapless aristocratic woman. He's like, "Are you okay?" Basically. Did they hurt you? And she's like, "They didn't take anything that wasn't taken before. But look," and she pulls down her dress and she's covered in burns and scars all over her chest. And he's like, "Well, I killed him." And she's like, "Just like a man to say that."
What?
And he's like, "What?" What? And then he's like, she's like, "I can never wear fashionable clothes again." And he's like, "Fashion changes?" She's like, "Oh, terrible men. You don't understand Runaway Crime.
So, yeah, just poorly written.
So badly written. And I feel like her character was not... It could have gone back and been worked on quite a bit. It's like he's looking at this half-written character saying, what's wrong with you?
It's like, you have less dimensions than I do. I don't know what to do with you.
You're annoying, and that is it. Okay. It just felt like there was supposed to be a relationship there, and I don't know, it just never, ever got really written.
Yeah.
They do the counting of the gold and the treasure. Some of the silver is impure and mixed with platinum, and it's a useless metal, so they're just really annoyed. But they did get a fortune. Yeah. It wasn't the fortune they thought it would be, but they have the ship, which is worth a lot.
The fortune itself,
it's very valuable. And if they can count that as, that and Sarah Almont as part of the king's portion, they don't have to lose too much of the gold and pearls and whatever else. Sanson wants to split the treasure between the ships and split up and make their own ways to Port Royal separately. And Hunter is like, no. You are greedy assassin. I know how this goes now. A giant squid comes near them.
Oh.
And then it goes away.
Okay. Cool. We got to see a giant squid today, boys. It's a good day.
It's like got close enough to, oh no, and then it goes away. And then they see...
That's funny.
Yeah. They see sails and realize it's Kazala.
Again,
coming after them. Although I think they end up deciding maybe that was like his lieutenant or someone else is sailing it.
Because Kazala got stabbed. He couldn't possibly still be alive.
Right. It's Kazala's warship. In order to get to Monkey Island, which is the safe harbor they think they can get in and be safe in, they have to go through these reefs, and they're heading westward into the evening sun. And it's impossible to look at water sailing into the western sun and see the reefs that you need to see to avoid getting run aground. Lezoon has the best eyes, and they decide she's going to be the one up on the mainmast directing them because she has done this passage before. They think that she can do it and not go blind. She has magic eyes. Yes.
Magic eyes. What do you see with your special girl eyes?
And part of it doesn't make sense to me because she has the most sensitive eyes and can see the furthest and also can see in the dark. And so you would think that person would not be the person you would put in direct looking at the sun because that would damage their eyes. But honestly, that part of the book is really well written. It's from her perspective. We're up there with her, looking at it, closing eyes, everything's burning and bright, opening them, looking. She holds up her right arm, they go right until she drops it. She holds up her left arm, they go left until she drops it. It's very intense, it's very well written, and the Cassandra is like right behind them, like as close as possible without hitting, because they're like, if you deviate at all, we will die. They make it to Monkey Island, and the Spanish warship is like behind them. I don't know how they got through. It's like, I guess they stayed on the other side of the...
They just went the long way.
Either that or they just wait and come in the next morning. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But later the Spanish ship comes to the mouth of the harbor, and they block them in and then start shooting at them. In order to get out of the way of the shot, they have to get too close and they get beached. So they're run aground, but it's at low tide, so he's like, we will get out. It's okay. But how are we going to get out of here? And that part of the book takes way too long. They get stuck in this harbor for days, and we are in Hunter's head trying to make plans for getting out of here. This part should have been really shortened. Hunter thinks through like the enemy strategy and what they're going to do and what he can do. And the Spanish ship tries to enter the harbor, but he puts privateers on the corners of the harbor with muskets. And so they shoot at them every time they try to come in. And they just like pick off individual sailors because they're good marksmen. Even though the muskets of the time didn't really lend themselves to good marksmanship. in the mid 1600s.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
So I really don't see that as being plausible.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Carries a lot of weight.
So then the ship moves out. They're at an impasse. Hunter's crew starts, like, bickering among themselves.
We're about to have a mutiny.
Yeah, one of them, like, shoots somebody else, and so he shoots the man who shot the other guy. And Lady Almont is just shocked and horrified. You guys are ruffians and evil. And he's like, dude, this is how it works on a ship.
Yep.
And it's just to make her look stupid. And because we, reading the book, know this is how the world is run. We're not needing to be explained this. The Spaniards send fireboats at them. They go out in their longboats and fight the fireboats and knock those over. So those go out and doesn't hurt anybody. They find a small cannon in the bilge. It's bronze, so it's serviceable, and they find shot for it. So they take it on shore and use it to fire at them, and that drives the other ship further away. They notice a change in the waves, which means a hurricane is coming. So they start to see chop. And the way this island is situated, they do not want to be in a hurricane in this harbor. It would be better to be out at sea because they're short-staffed. They do not have enough men for both ships. We spend multiple chapters thinking about geometry.
No. I hate this book, actually.
Because he doesn't have gun crews. In order to shoot the cannon that he has on this Spanish ship he's taken, you have to have gun crews. They have to load the cannons, place it where they're supposed to go. The gun captain aims it and then shoots it.
Yeah.
And
you
presumably
have to have... the ships are beached right now, so they're probably listed over to one side, so it's probably like a weird angle you got to shoot at, too.
Well, the Spanish one is out in the harbor, or out past the harbor in open sea, like a couple miles out. He's floating in the harbor, because they came off the beach with the high tide. But he's trying to think, how can I shoot my guns without any people? How can I aim my guns without any people? And he comes up with some geometry stuff to where he can have all the guns pointing at one spot. And then if he can move his ship to the right spot and then shoot the guns, he can hit the other Spanish ship.
Okay. Maybe this was like Michael Crichton like working it out in his head and he just hadn't thought of a way to make it fun yet.
It's really not fun. It takes way too long. And it's not very plausible, but we need our hero to be really clever and smart. So he remembers it, figures it out, and comes up with it. They set up the cannon. They set up the angle. They like do some practice shooting out in the harbor so he can get an idea of where the cannon shot will go when he does shoot it at this angle and everything. They go ahead and split up the treasure because now they're going to have to fight their way out of here and try to escape. And so Sanson is captaining the Cassandra, and they're going to try to break out, and ideally Hunter's ship that he's on now will get close enough to the Spanish ship that they can shoot it, because he can only do maybe a couple of rounds, because with his very small, I think he has only 10 men doing all of the guns, and it takes almost all of them to reload each cannon.
Yeah.
So his goal is put one man on each cannon to do the first shot that they've already preloaded, and then send every person to each cannon, reload it, pull it back, and then put each man back on their cannon and shoot again. So it's 10 minutes to reload. And he's like, we might get 2 rounds in. It becomes really tedious, because, like, I love ocean stories, I love sailing adventures, but this just becomes like...
You're not getting enough action to merit all of the setup for it.
Right. They need to leave the harbor. They need to get away from this island. The storm is coming.
Yeah.
They pull out into the ocean. The Spanish knew that they were going to have to leave because they can tell that a storm is coming too.
Right.
And they came kind of behind their ship, and they're shooting at them, so they take tons of damage. But we have a big sea battle. People die. Explosions, splinters, flying, blah, blah, blah. And he manages to get his 2 shots in. And on the second go, they're dealing with a lot of like waves and they're going up and down. But he's able to time it by counting to make it to hit the other ship. And he hits them right below the water line, and they start sinking, and then they explode. So that ship gets completely destroyed.
It sounds like a lucky shot.
Yeah, it's basically a lucky shot. And Michael Crichton wanted us to believe that the captain was so clever to make it happen.
Right.
when it just feels like still ended up just being luck.
Yeah, it really feels like he just hadn't gotten that one to where he can make it fun yet.
Mm-hmm. The storm hits. It's like right there, and they are sailing ahead of it, trying to take every sail down because they do not have enough men to use the storm to keep going. They need to just batten down the hatches and try to survive. Every sailor goes and does their own storm superstition. Throw salt over your shoulder. Hunter goes and prays, even though he's not really religious. And a couple of the sailors go and grab Lady Sarah to throw her overboard.
She's bad luck.
She's a bad luck because she's a woman. You know, you pray, you light a candle, you throw a woman overboard.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get out on a ship and you just have a woman on there and she's having her period and you can't have it. It just ruins it for everybody.
It will.
You can't have scurvy and a PMSing woman near you at the same time. It can't. You go crazy.
And it's clear she annoys everyone.
Yeah.
So, you know, solves that problem too. Hunter stops them and he's like, "What proof?" And they're like, "She's a witch. She's a witch. We have to throw her overboard. She's a witch." And he's like, "What proof do you have she's a witch?" And they're like, "You know, she's a witch." And he's like, "You idiots, let her go." And so he's like, "Go back to your cabin, lock the door, and do not open it for anyone until the storm is over." Because presumably after the storm is over, they'll either be dead or over it.
Right.
You know? Yeah. She goes back to her cabin. Quote, "Back in her cabin, Lady Sarah Almont surveyed the destruction caused by the storm and the seamen who had burst in upon her as she had been making her preparations. Carefully..."
Seamen bursting in upon her. Sorry.
Carefully.
Through it. Ignore me.
Carefully, as the boat rocked, she lighted her candles on the deck, lit them one after another until there were 5 red candles glowing. Then she scratched a pentagram on the deck and stepped inside.
Oh my God, she actually is a witch. Wasn't expecting that, actually. That's a good twist.
I know. And so she like chants and the storm dies.
Oh, she's a witch for good, though.
Yeah.
For at least in this context.
In this context.
God, that's funny. That's really funny.
They were right. They just didn't have any proof. Yeah.
Oh,
So
God,
she
that's
chants
good.
and does the spell and
Yeah.
the wind dies.
Does she
and
do
they
any
survive
more
the
witchery
storm.
for the rest of the book?
Nope.
Okay.
This is the only time. But that was so
That's
funny.
really, that's funny. Oh, God.
They get separated from the Cassandra because of the storm, and they make it to an island, and they're like limping. They have all this damage from the storm, from the fight, and they need to sit on an island, chop down trees, and do repairs for like a week. And they're doing this, they find fresh water, they're blah, blah, blah. They lose a sailor, and they're like, he just disappeared. What's going on? And they send some people to like go look for him, and they find a deserted village, and it's obviously a Spanish village with Christians in it, but it's completely empty. There's no one there. There's like food left on the table and little boats in the harbor, and nobody is there. And they're like, this is creepy. And they go back towards, they're like heading out of the village, and they see a hand in the dirt. And they're like, what? And they go to pick it up, and it's not attached to anything.
Yeah.
And Lazoo is like, the Caribs, the evil Caribs, and they're the cannibal Indians who are love legend. And they warn you with leaving a hand in the dirt to tell
That's
you
a
they're going
weird
to come
warning.
eat you. I don't know.
Especially if you're eating the people, too. Like,
Well-
why would you use a hand?
I feel like this part he probably meant to go back and kind of zhuzh it up because he wrote Eaters of the Dead. He's
Yeah.
very good at dealing with stuff like this. And it felt like he just wanted to keep adding little side plots.
Yeah.
And we really didn't need to.
It could be, like, this could be why he decided to stop trying, if that's what happened. He kept trying to, like, find something in this story that he would find interesting, and he kept going through it and kept not finding
It
it.
feels like he kept adding
Yeah.
all these little side things to
It's
it.
like, okay, so they got the treasure. What do I do now? Cannibals?
Yeah.
No, not cannibals. Something else.
Lady Almont had gone with a few other men onto the island to get fresh fruit and vegetables because she's a vegetarian. And so they...
They really wanted to hate this woman.
And she even argues with Hunter over being a vegetarian, and he's like, I don't care about your eccentricities. And she's like, I'll have you know, famous philosophers were vegetarian. And it's just another piddly stupid fight between them. And he's like, oh dear, they've kidnapped my woman and they're gonna eat her because they're cannibals. And so they have to go into the village and rescue her. They see the body of the sailor that had been kidnapped and taken away. They put a couple granados in one of the little huts they find. So when it explodes, it scares everybody, and then they start shooting at the villagers or the natives. And then they go pick up Lady Almont because they think she's dead. And they hoof it back to the ship. But she's alive. She survived. It's fine. It really felt like just a random unnecessary side thing to bring up Caribbean cannibals. There's a Kraken attack.
Oh.
They leave and are still trying to get home. It feels like we keep getting waylaid and driven off course.
Yeah.
And they're trying to head home, and there's a Kraken attack, and tentacles, and fighting it, and swords, and shooting it, and it ripping people apart, and suckers on skin, and fight.
That's weird.
Yes.
Like, for it to be so historically accurate, that's a weird one to put in there. Which, I mean, he also does, I think, like big
Fanciful
monsters.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like
So-
Sphere. That was very, very,
Yeah.
sci-fi fans.
Also,
Yes.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like, it's just like, can we please just get back to port? And they finally do. They fight off the Kraken. It leaves. They make it back to Port Royal. And he is promptly arrested for being a pirate.
told what? Oh, I guess the governor's assistant. I don't know. What happened?
What were you going to say about Sanson?
Oh, I assumed that Sanson got there first. I don't know. I guess he would have told them that he turned pirate on them and tried to betray them or something.
Pretty much what happened.
Okay.
Sanson got there first, and he tried to say that it wasn't Kazala who blew up the English ships. It was Hunter, and that he barely escaped with his life and was pirating under duress.
Huh.
He doesn't want to get hung for piracy.
Yeah.
So he makes up this elaborate story that it's all Hunter's fault, and so that Hunter will get hung for piracy.
Huh.
He tries to be like, I have an agreement with the governor. And they're like, the governor is dying in his bed. His secretary is now in charge of everything.
Oh, no. And he doesn't like pirates
And
at all.
he doesn't like anyone. So everyone in the town is in prison. He gets back, and everyone he knows is in the prison.
Still funny, actually.
And so
Consistently funny, this book.
the last 30% of the book is him dealing with the politics of getting out of the situation.
Oh,
It turns
that's
into
kind of boring.
a court drama of explaining to the magistrates what happened, and them saying this is what Sanson said, and Sanson come in and saying what it is, and then Lady Sarah saying like they tell her she has to say, yes, Hunter is the one who destroyed her ship and kidnapped her first, and it wasn't the Spaniards. So she lies and tells them it was Hunter the whole time. And they basically are like, you're gonna be hung for piracy on Monday. And he gets locked in the prison. And then there's the scheme between Anne and the governor, who's not really sick. He's pretending to be sick, and he's locked up in his room.
What?
To try to escape and to get Hunter out, and then the escape, and then it becomes an entirely different story.
Right. That's so weird. Why is the governor pretending to be sick?
because he and the secretary had a falling out, and the secretary's like, you're letting all these pirates run loose, I'm gonna arrest you, and he convinces all of these people in the town to, like, turn on the governor, and he makes himself the governor, and it's a lot of random nonsense. The gist of it is, they're like, if we break out, we can take back our power and fix everything.
We can go back to the status quo and
Yes.
continue pirating.
Basically. So Hunter escapes through shenanigans and help and people being whatever. And then he goes on a murder spree and kills every single magistrate who condemned him to hang.
Oh, no.
We do some William Wallace shit.
Crazy.
He goes around murdering everyone who sat on that panel condemning him to hang.
From the character we've been with throughout the entire story, nothing would lead you to think, oh, I'll wreak bloody vengeance on anyone who had anything to do with me possibly being hanged.
Yes.
That's crazy.
The last third of the book is this political court drama, and then him going around ruthlessly murdering and shooting people, like, in the face
That's
and the
crazy.
belly and stabbing them, and
I mean,
and everyone's terrified of him, like they expect this to happen too.
that's crazy.
And it's like, I mean, he did murder a guy who called him a cheat at the beginning.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to be rooting for him, and he has been so bland and milquetoast along the way.
Yeah, like, from what I know about the character, just from this, I would think run away on your ship.
Yeah, go be a pirate out of somewhere else. And it's like, no, we need to murder everyone who done us wrong. And
I mean, some people follow the adage, if you can't make it good, make it violent.
And there's stuff between Mr. Harclett and Mrs. Harclett and grossness between them. Like, he rapes her and is violent to her.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
I mean, there was a child getting molested at the beginning of the story.
And
but
that was normal, yeah. And then she shoots him in the groin, and he lays there bleeding, and Hunter comes in to kill him, and she's like, please don't, because he's dying painfully and slowly. And Hunter leaves and just lets him die out bleeding slowly. And then he goes and has to figure out how to get Sanson and revenge on him, and has to do cleverness to get close enough and kill him, and kills him, and that's, like, our story.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, that ending doesn't quite... It doesn't fit.
I know. It just really feels like a different story, and we go from a guy having no emotion about his brother being murdered by Kazala to this intense level of revenge at the end. And it's like this man went from zero passion to blood rage.
He had such little reaction to his brother getting tortured by Cazalis. I forgot about it. But yeah, that is a crazy twist for this character.
Yeah, like literally the end of it is he manages to kill Sanson, and then we have an epilogue, and
then Sanson gets no shares.
No shares, that's right. Yeah. And they're able to, like, find somebody who would testify that Sanson actually, this Cassandra did get messed up by the storm, but then they got the treasure to an island and buried it, and Sanson murdered everyone and left him for dead, and, like, he's trying to pull it together to be like, I can have the law on my side if I can prove Sanson is lying.
Right.
And it's just too much. It's way too long. Way too long. That's why I was like 75%, and I was like, yeah, we can go do this episode, because the rest of it's just murder.
Yeah. You know how I feel about this book?
How?
I feel like it's a D grade, because I'm depressed for what could have been.
What could have been? That's what makes me so sad. Is because several scenes and chapters in this book are so good. A lot of potential. So good. Oh, the writing, the historical accuracy, the really good descriptions. We have a really good plot. until you get to the end. But
it just turns into murder.
And then you just have murder. But, like, you have a really decent, damn it, I'm in. We're going to build our crew. We're going to go do this amazing feat. We're going to hit all these problems along the way. And we have a great adventure story. I just am so sad that it was published.
Yeah. Well... that was
D. It's a D.
Yeah, that feels right.
Parts of it A++. The whole, the entirety, very sad.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing this report. Thank you, listener, for listening, and check us out on our socials. Blue Sky, we're at bugs at BiblioWrecks. Our email, which is BiblioWrecks@gmail.com, BiblioWrecks, and our Blue Sky is
at bugs-bibliorex.bluesky.social. And if you search BiblioWrecks on Blue Sky, you should find us. I am on Reddit, but we haven't quite figured out the community stuff right yet.
Yeah, still working on that, and I'm still afraid of it.
Yes. I am not. I roam the Reddit now.
And if you have a disappointing pirate story that leaves you feeling empty for an author that you really enjoyed and you don't get to be satisfied.
If you have a differing opinion, if you think this book was really good, let us know. Because there's a lot of people. We're wrong. Tell us that we're wrong. Because I saw a lot of reviews of this book that people just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And there were huge parts that I really loved it. So on this one, I am interested in dialogue on it, really honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Bam Bam.
And
if
anyone...
Thank you, Bugs. You say thank you, Bugs.
I said that earlier. I said it first this time. You're the bad guy now.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Share with a friend if they also love and hate books.
And if someone tells you that you're a pirate and you're going to jail, fucking kill them.
Yeah, just go on a murder, just the whole town.
And if someone is already dying painfully and slowly, just let them
walk away.
Yeah, just leave. Just let them die slowly and painfully. And then be boring the rest of the time and have no personality. Yeah,
Bye.
that sounds like a good life plan.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.